Hello everybody, your GP in Scrubs is back. I finished with another night shift in the hospital, so again I might not be in the best of shape, but again I now have the time to talk to you about the coronavirus again. Believe me, this is not how I planned to start my channel. I really had a nice schedule, what to talk about one by one, selecting from different topics, but it seems that life took over and it seems that all my job is coronavirus related. People are worried about the coronavirus, that they might get it. They are worried that the symptoms might be in relation to the coronavirus, or they don't want to come into the hospital or to the GP surgery with different problems because they're afraid of the coronavirus. So my whole work is upside down. The ways we used to work is completely changing, and just we need to adapt. It's very important for everybody to follow the government's advice, trying to contain the virus. However, what I see that where I live, which is Ashford in Kent in the UK, that the virus is already everywhere. I'm talking to patients from one end of the county to the other, and a lot of people are presenting with typical symptoms, which would be flu-like symptoms, some sore throat, temperature, feeling generally unwell, tired, lethargic, sleeping all the time, no appetite, and cough, dry cough without much sputum, and some of the patients do present with shortness of breath, which is very unusual to a young and fit person with no history of asthma, who is a non-smoker, to have shortness of breath. So that is really very suggestive that they do have the coronavirus. I know that you must have seen a lot of different videos from different ITU doctors who work with very sick patients, how deadly this virus is, how different it is from any other diseases that we dealt with before. My experience is a little bit different because I don't only see the very sick, I talk to a lot of patients with different severity, and hence I believe that I'm not as worried as the ITU doctors who see the very, very sick. However, the trick is that we don't know a lot of this virus still, so we have surprises. So we need to keep our minds very open and need to be vigilant for deterioration, because it can happen suddenly. So if you have the typical symptoms, in the UK the advice is to contact the NHS 111 and talk to a doctor, get assessed. I assess a lot of patients with coronavirus symptoms, and I have to admit most of them are fine, staying at home and managing their symptoms at home. However, I always emphasize that what we see, that the nature of this disease, that it can go wrong very quickly. You might be all right 1 hour and the next hour you might be very sick. So always monitor your symptoms, let your loved ones know that you probably have the coronavirus, even if you are self-isolating, even if you are living alone. Stay in contact with other people over the phone or with any other technology, so they will check on you regularly that you are not worse. And if your symptoms are worse, don't wait until the morning. Don't just assume that the symptoms will go. Call for advice. Of course, if you are very unwell, if you deem it's an emergency, you need to call the 999. This is a very tricky virus. Most of the people are fine and they don't need to go to hospital, but the ones who need to go to hospital, they need to be there on time. Now it seems that the facilities are up and the hospitals are prepared. We now comfortable with the policies and procedures. We are adapting to this new norm, which we are working these days. It's a completely different environment at the moment. It's not something that we used to do before, but we are getting there. So for you, if you have the symptoms, just as I told you, be very vigilant for any signs of deterioration, and let other people know that you probably have the coronavirus so they can check on you. I hope it helps. The overall advice that I see that most people just get better on their own, and it might take a while though. I now start to have calls saying that people saying that, look, I've been unwell for 2 weeks and now I think I should be better, and when we are going through his symptoms, they are actually better than they were because the temperature is going. They started to eat or drink as well, but they're still coughing. They're not short of breath, or not as much as before, but they're still very lethargic. They still want to just sit on the sofa or sleep all day. Yeah, it seems that the recovery time is quite long. It easily wipes you out for 2 weeks or even longer, 3-4 weeks until full recovery. So again, that's the main difference from previous flu-like symptoms or respiratory viruses. I hope it helps. I hope it reassures you that most people recover well, but be very, very vigilant, as I say. I will be coming back with further news on my coronavirus experience, because, as I say, I'm now doing out of hours, so I will be in touch with a lot of people with corona symptoms. So keep well and look after yourself and look after people around you. See you next time. Bye bye.